Once upon a time, Kia used to make boring looking cars. However, the latest Cee'd proves that they have germinated into a maker of fine looking vehicles. And this new Pro Cee'd has succeeded in taking things to a whole new level. Rather than just doing away with the rear doors, it features sufficiently different bodywork to the 5-door Cee'd to justify the addition of the word Pro at the beginning of its name. And if you think this one looks particularly sporty, there's a reason for that. This particular car is the hot hatch GT model, and it's got some quad LED daytime running lights. Personally, I don't particularly like those. What I do like though is the redesigned front bumper with honeycomb grille, GT badge here and a red stripe on the splitter. If you look down here, we've got some bespoke 18-inch two-tone alloy wheels. There's also some sporty side skirts there at the side of the car, of course. And if you come around the back, check this out, we've got 2 exhaust pipes on a Kia hatchback. I mean, who'd have thought? Despite the more racy look, the Pro Cee'd is almost as practical as the normal Cee'd. Its boot is just as big, even though the opening isn't quite as wide, and it also has seats that fold down flat. The Pro Cee'd may have no rear doors, but it's still easy to get into the back because the front doors are just so huge, although you do have to be careful when opening them in tight spaces because you might bash other vehicles, or if it's very windy, though you could use these doors as sails to power the car and help save fuel. Space in the back is identical really to the normal Cee'd, and despite that sloping roofline, I've still got a decent amount of headroom, and knee room's good too. And unlike in some other cars, the front seat actually remembers and goes back to the original position that the driver had it in, so you won't annoy them. The Pro Cee'd uses the same stylish dash as the normal Cee'd, and the interior feels robust and has plenty of soft touch plastics. The GT, however, gets some racy tidbits and body-hugging sport seats from Recaro. There's also a special GT button which lets you change from the traditional digital speedo to show stuff like turbo boost. Tell you the truth though, I think you'll only use that feature on the very first day you get the car. Afterwards you'll just stick it on the normal speedo and never press that button ever again. There are some more useful pieces of standard equipment on this car. In fact, on the normal Pro Cee'd you get things like parking sensors, there is USB for your stereo so you can plug your iPod in there, there's climate control, and we've also got Bluetooth for your mobile phone. This car also feels very solidly made, and actually the normal Kia Cee'd came in the top 10 for reliability in the 2013 Driver Power Owner Satisfaction Survey. And after you've seen this video, you can head to www.driverpower.co.uk to tell us what you think about your car. But for now, I need to continue showing you something about this cabin. For instance, the cubby spaces are impressive. We've got a big glove box, which handily on a day like today is cooled by the air conditioning. There's also a big central cubby there for your sweet snacks. We've got some decent sized side door bins, and if you look down here, I've got room for some rather appropriate snacks. They're seeds. Underneath the skin, the Pro Cee'd is identical to the normal Cee'd, and so all the controls, they're nice and light, and it's easy to drive in town, and it's quiet and comfy on the motorway. Plus, if you go for the diesel, it will return over 70 miles per gallon. The Pro Cee'd will go around corners well enough too. Thing is, you'd never call it fun. It's more competent than engaging, and not as sharp to drive as a Seat Leon SE. If you want your Pro Cee'd to be a bit more fun, then you're going to have to go for this GT model. It has lowered stiffened suspension, and that improves the cornering, though it does mean that the ride is more bumpy. The normal Pro Cee'd gets a system whereby you can alter the weight of the steering at the touch of a button. That does make the steering feel very artificial, and so for this GT model, Kia sacked it off. Unfortunately, it hasn't seemed to make it any better at all. And while this is Kia's first hot hatch, it's not a bad attempt, but the handling is nowhere near as sharp as something like a more established Renault Sport Megane. It doesn't help that the engine is a little bit off the pace. The GT's 201 brake horsepower 1.6 litre turbo will do 0 to 60 in 7.4 seconds, which means a Golf GTI will blow it away. Yet somehow, the Golf is actually more economical. Still, the Pro CEe'd GT is a lot cheaper than similar sized hot hatches, so if you think of it more as a warm hatch, then it actually makes a lot more sense. And if you just want the looks and don't really need the performance, then why not go for the normal Pro CEe'd, because it's cheaper and therefore even better value.